I'll get a little part 2 update on the restoration on the atc110 here. Let's see, yesterday was Friday, and I got my new bearings and seals, got those installed, went in good, and then I got my carburetor. This is running now. I had the gas tank on it, ran good. Just really didn't even have to mess with the fuel mixture on it, just turn the idle down. It runs really good. I'd run it, but I have the tank off to paint it. The only thing I found, I put the exhaust back on too so it wasn't overly loud. The only thing I found was when I took this rear end apart, this brake was seized in here, and so I had to pry this off with a crowbar. And what's happening is this cover right here, which there's a bolt, there's these 3 bolts that bolt this rear end housing, the bearing housing to the frame, and then the nuts go on this cover right here to hold it all together. What happened is when you can see like right there, you can see where this is bent. I need to bend this back. I think what's happening is this cover here is bent, and it's causing the brake drum here to rub. Well, I know it is, because if you listen, if I can get this to turn, you can hear that rubbing in there. And what that is I took this brake drum off again, and it's rubbing bad, almost rubbed through this cover. Also, I forgot to put this cover over here on, which goes on the left side, right over here on the chain, on the inside. I think what I'll do is pull this axle off, take this cover off, slide this cover here back in. You actually have to, because I forgot it, that's where part of the belly pan actually bolts on. Put that cover back on, take this cover off. I banged on it with a hammer trying to straighten it out. You can see where the rub marks are on it. I'll try to straighten it out even more, get it all straightened out, mashed back out. If not, I can get a different cover. I'll buy one. Bolt all this back together. This will be done then. The only thing I have to do is on my threads on this end and on this end over here. It's got the hub on it. The threads were boogered a little bit, and I'm going to get a die, and a 19mm die, and run that over there, clean those up, put the tires on. That tire there holds air. The one up there, it wasn't leaking air out of the tire, it was leaking out of the valve stem, and I got to tighten the valve stem up, and then hopefully take this for a test drive, and see how it runs. Exhaust smokes like crazy just because it's got a bunch of junk in it. It doesn't even come out of the tailpipe anymore, it comes out down below because there's a big rust hole in it. And then after that, I'm going to go in and I think probably won't tear the rear end apart, but I'll take the axle back out. It doesn't take that long to take the axle out. I'll take it out and paint all this frame as much as I can, clean it up, paint it. I'll probably wash it first, get it all cleaned up, painted real good, then throw everything back together, paint the back fender and everything. I've started, we'll get to that in a second actually. Just get this thing all cleaned up, slicked up. I'm missing some hardware because originally I tore this down in our other shop, and then I got kicked out. When I moved it over here, I lost a bunch of stuff, and so I've been having trouble finding. I'm gonna have to get some different hardware. It's just all metric nuts and bolts, and I'll get some different hardware and everything. I'll get it all cleaned up, everything. I want to test drive it first though, see how it works, make sure it runs okay. The only other thing I have to do is get this tensioner back on. I'm having trouble with it. Get it back on. There's a chain guard that goes up on here. Bolt that back on. And then to start it, I've been starting it with a whatchamacalled, drill. And actually this might start I took the tank off, but it might have, if I can find my drill here, it might have enough fuel in the bowl to let you listen to it a little bit here. We'll see if we can get it to start. Just been, it's a 19mm socket on a drill, and you just take note of which way it goes, and kind of a booger. I hear it. That's her running. I'm not going to rev it up because it blows smoke everywhere. But it runs, and surprisingly, the headlight actually works. High beam and low beam. The kill switch works too. It all works, surprisingly, which is interesting. But no, it actually, we'll shut it off here, it's starting to smoke me out. It actually runs pretty good for being 83. It says it hasn't been started. The guy I got it from said it hadn't been started in 4 years, but once I know that it runs and everything good and drives good, it will get a new exhaust, frame painted, new spark plug. I changed oil in it today, new air filter, rebuild the pull start cover, put all the air box and everything like that back on, new seat pan, new seat. Then I noticed on the seat too, the toolbox is missing. I don't know if I'll fix that. I'll look. All the plastics will get painted, all the frame will get painted. You can already see, so there's the front fender. I started painting it today, just about 5 minutes ago, put the first coat on, prepped it, primed it, and painted it. I went to Ace and matched the color. Didn't even match it, but I picked one that I liked. That's the color of it. I don't know, it's Rust-Oleum gloss protective enamel. I don't know what the color code is on it. I'm reading here. I don't know what it is. Where is it? I don't see a color code on it, but that's what I'm using. Got 2 cans of it, and then I had some prepper and primer, and then I got spray on clear coat for it, clear coat everything. I'm gonna let this dry for probably hour and a half, come back in, put the second coat on it. Probably gonna need at least 3 coats, maybe 4. I think I'll paint the underneath of it too. The tank, I'm letting the primer dry on it or set up, and then paint that. And I got the decals scraped off and everything. Paint it, and then I'll probably paint the underside of it. The back fender, I gotta go and wash it real good, scrape all that green paint off, take the fenders off of it, get it all prepped and everything, and all that good stuff, and then paint it. I figured I'd do the easy stuff first. I might paint that front mud guard there, mud flap, maybe paint it black. I don't know, I probably will, just to make it look good. I don't think I'll paint the front suspension, or not suspension, but the front 2 arms on it. I don't think I'll take it off and paint it. I think I'll leave it. Just get the plastics and then the frame as much. I'm going to try to get as much as the frame as I can without getting a lot of overspray and everything. And who knows, maybe if I wash it, it might look a lot better. But so it's coming along, and like I said, the final parts list it's going to need on it is new spark plug, new air filter, rebuild the pull start cover, new exhaust, new seat pan, new seat, what else? new decals, because we're painting everything, so new decals. What else? New brake pads, new brake handle. The brake handle on it is broke off. Find a new one, probably a new brake cable. And that should be really about it. Chain seems good. It's not all worn out and everything. Once I get the tensioner on, it'll take all the slack out. But yeah, that's her. She's coming right along. Here, we'll actually see if this tank maybe is... Oh yeah, we'll actually let you have a look, throwing a coat of paint on the tank here. It's good and dry, so we'll hop down here and got this and shake her up, and I'm interested really to see how the paint turns out. That's kind of the main eyesore on it. I was gonna see if this is getting tacky or not. Yeah, it's getting tacky, but not quite dry. So we'll hit this here and see what it looks like. I'm not gonna cover the top. I'm not too worried about it. It's gonna take some work, I can tell that right now, to get it looking good, but oh yeah, that looks a lot better with that'll look much better than what was on it before. We'll flip it up here on its side and paint the side here so I don't get my floor all messy. It'll look much better with, 2 or 3 coats of paint on it. It'll turn out pretty doggone good, actually. It needs some work, just put it that way. It needs, a lot of work to it, and it wasn't really abused, but it was a farm rig, and, farm rigs, are never pretty. They're, always beat up like a farm pickup. They're beat up and everything else, but that's looking pretty good. My color, I'm liking my color, actually. It's turning out pretty doggone good, I think. Like I said, I picked it for more my taste, because if I do decide to keep it, I want to have it looking good, and I didn't want to go on and buy, Honda red or anything like that. I mean, it was like $30 for a can of Honda red and the spray paint. I mean, it wasn't anything cheap, so it was if you want to do it right and if you're restoring it and gonna sell it for whatever as a collector's item, it'd be one thing, but for me, it's gonna get, or for if I keep it or whoever buys it, it's just gonna get kept. And I see I have a run right there. I am not a professional painter by any means whatsoever. I suck at painting. My spray painting really sucks. But I'm trying to do it, real easy. I like just to go, paint it all up real good. I have another big run right here. I'm really sucking today. And I like just to go. And that's all I'm gonna do. That's starting to run. Probably gonna have some runs on it, knowing me. Usually all my stuff has runs on it. But and yeah, I mean, you can see I got overspray on the floor, on the fender. I mean, I usually hang all my stuff, and that was what I did in my big shop, is I'd hang it, but this is enclosed, and so there's no rafters in here. You can't hang anything. I mean, you could put eye bolt in the ceiling and hang it, but it's just I can, in the other bay, it's got rafters, it's exposed, but it's too cold to paint. So in here, I need to get just a big piece of paper, or cardboard, or whatever, and lay it down, because I mean, you can see I got a bunch of overspray on the floor. But no, I'm liking it. That's turning out pretty good. Get probably 3 coats on, and then go ahead and clear coat it, and that'll look pretty doggone good, actually, especially when you get that, big old eyesore there done. And my 200, I'll give you a little update on it too. It's still sitting. It's just, I took the alternator yesterday, actually, to a guy here to see if he could rebuild it, and he took one look at it and said, nope, I can't help you. He said, I can send it to California, and they're going to charge you just to send it and an estimate, and they might not be able to do it. He said it's just so hard to do it. He said it's a lost art. He said it's going to be expensive. I found a used alternator online. You cannot get aftermarket new, OEM new, anything. I found a used one last night for $100. Said it was running. Came off a running 3-wheeler. I'm supposed to be taking this into another place, the alternator to another place, and let them look at it. And then I think I'm going to stop by the Honda dealership, see what they say about it. Here's the alternator. I actually have it in here today. It is a 3-diode alternator, and the only thing you can take off of it is, this is the stator here, and this might be bad. I'm not sure. If anyone knows, comment if anyone knows about these and can tell me what the problem is. It is not, it's charging, but it's not charging enough. The battery always stays at 9 volts. It never can come above that. So it's either one of the diodes are burnt out and it's not getting enough juice. It's, holding it at 9 volts, but it won't ever charge it all the way up. Or there's something else funky with it. If anyone knows, comment and let me know. But this is going to go in and get looked at, try to figure out what the heck's wrong with it. This thing can't be run, though, is the problem. The only way you could run it is you could put the cover back on, seal it all up, put oil in it. You'd have to keep the battery charged. It'd run, but just not for a long time. You could run it for an hour or something like that, and I might end up having to do that. You can run it with the battery in it, and it'll run, but as soon as the battery dies, then it'll die because it'll have no spark anymore. I think, anyway. I think that'd work. But it's still down. I still didn't get the brakes for the 185. I was hoping they'd come today, but it'll probably come Monday or Tuesday. But in the meantime, 110's the main thing. Can't do anything with this until the alternator gets looked at. But so that's the progress on the 110. It's coming along, getting painted and rear end put back together. And like I said, it's just going to get tore apart again once we figure out it rides. And it shifts good. I actually ran it high and low, just rev it up, shifts real good. Down shifts fine. Just figure out that rubbing rear end on it and get the tires on it and everything else and wash it and go from there, and then start ordering some new parts. But that's her, so thanks for watching.